What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video, and we're continuing to talk about Doctor Who because yes, over the weekend we've been over this a few times now. We had the first two episodes of the brand new Doctor Who series drop over on both Disney Plus and the BBC. When it came to the BBC numbers, they show you right now that people aren't interested. People have checked out. People are going to do other things. People blamed it on the weather for such low overnight ratings, when in reality, nobody's watching this garbage. When you come over here to Rotten Tomatoes, you can see general audience view of this entire show is sitting at a 32%. People have checked out. People don't like this garbage. This show is abysmal and horrendous, and it's just gonna keep getting worse. Just the other day, we went over both Shooty Got while basically calling the fans racist for not tuning into the show after he told them all to tune out of it. We went over Jinx Monsoon saying, for every transphobe that's going to be leaving or person that's against queer folks, we're going to get 2 to 3 new viewers. I'm sure of it. Well, that didn't pan out. But despite all this, despite everything they keep saying, they still have to open their mouth more because now we have 2 new interviews from Russell T Davies, one to Deadline and one to Collider. But we're going to go over the Deadline one first because he says Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies says it's his job to let trans and queer stories through. Doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on this progressive agenda that they are shoving within Doctor Who, forcing in these storylines because it's his job to let their representation known for the kids, mind you. Yeah, by the way, he mentions that this show is made for kids now, ages 6 and up, and he wants to have all this stuff shoved into it. But let's get to his actual words. Davies spoke with Deadline ahead of the first 2 episodes premiering on Disney Plus and the BBC. I know I was a part of a rising tide of gay, lesbian, and other writers, all of us contributing to the soaps and chipping into primetime dramas, all of us slowly and then rapidly increasing the visibility of queer characters on screen. And I'm lucky that I was one that burst through and got that on screen. I'm always aware, especially as time marches on, that I carry this legacy of being white, male, and gay, identity politics, and it's my job to look beyond that because there's no point in sitting still. I have to look at myself and be certain that I've moved on. I look to society and try to listen to what's going on and open gateways. He then declared, when you become a senior figure in television, it's your job to open doors and let the next people through and let trans and queer stories through, and to become familiar with this language myself instead of settling into middle age. You have to love it when creators that at one point in time made something that you love get so firmly indoctrinated and so set in their actual political ways that now they can't actually create things. They can't actually make anything useful in life. So they have to just pander to other individuals, bow down and say, it's your turn, darling, all while focusing in on his identity politics. But that's not all he ended up saying in all this. That far from it. He ended up bringing up the gay movement and how it's a bad time to be gay and how we need to be focusing in on this and how all of our rights are being taken away, and that's why I'm shoving it into Doctor Who to have more of these stories out there, all while simultaneously bringing up children and how kids need to be watching this. Kids need to be interacting with this. As we come down here, one of the things that inspired this new season was TikTok. He added, one of the glorious things about TikTok is that they can all dance and show themselves, having enormous fun in the bedrooms. It's not all mercy. There's real joy in being a teenager. Davies then tied this to Doctor Who, so that's the world I'm in now. And that's very much the world I wanted for Doctor Who. I wanted the joy, that expression, but also the freedom to talk about mental health, and that comes with a story about adoption and fostering. He gets inspired by TikTok to make Doctor Who. I would think that the actual guy that ended up bringing Doctor Who back, that helped revitalize Doctor Who, brought it into a new generation and a new audience, would be able to just reference Doctor Who when he's making his Doctor Who and not TikTok. No wonder there's so many dance numbers and singing. My lord. Oh yes, use a site that's known for its mental health issues, known for promoting mental health up the wazoo, to help create Doctor Who? You gotta be mental! But that's why he's doing this. It pushes his agenda. TikTok's filled with that agenda. TikTok's filled with his ideology. And he thinks that's the real world. So much so that when you come over to this next one, Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies dismisses critics of his decision to focus series on queer themes and dark little corners. People might argue, but that's not the real world, because his real world is shaped by TikTok. A site known for pushing ideology over everything else. A site that pushes true mental health onto little kids. That's where his worldview is derived from now. And the real world doesn't like this. You just have to take a look at the numbers. Real world's checked out. They don't want this, but no, we're not in the real world right now. We're the dark little corners of the internet. In the opinion of showrunner Russell T Davies, the bevy of criticism leveled towards his decision to make queer themes a central focus of Doctor Who are not only inconsequential, but ultimately detached from the fan sentiment and the real world. Davies offered this defense of his latest take on the Time Lord during a May 2024 interview given to Collider Samantha Casey and promotion of Doctor Who's return to airways. At one point, making note of how the show just keeps leaning more into queer themes, especially since the specials, Casey eventually asked Davies if he could speak about leaning into that more intentionally. To which the showrunner replied, "It's funny because, to be absolutely honest, it's almost not that deliberate, because that's the life that I lead. I wrote a series called Queer as Folk in 1999 that broke down many barriers, and I'm never going to step back from that." Note, he always brings up Queer as Folk. That's like his one thing that he truly cares about. Why never mention Doctor Who? Why never mention the boundaries you broke via Doctor Who? A show perfect for breaking boundaries, a show perfect for a lot of this actual, like, good storytelling and things that people actually gathered around. Why do you always have to focus in on Queer as Folk? Oh, because you don't actually like Doctor Who. In fairness, no one ever asked me to step back from that. And I just think it doesn't even feel particularly queer to me. It feels natural. It's 2024, and we're all embracing this. Twitter might kick off, and in dark little corners, people might argue, but that's not the real world. The real world is one of acceptance, and with battles to be fought and votes to be gained. Oh, that's right. All about your ideology and how your ideology must win out over everybody else. But take note of what he said there. These are Twitter issues and dark little corners of the internet. This isn't the real world. The real world likes what I'm doing. The real world accepts what I'm doing. The Twitter doesn't matter. Dark little corners of the internet, they don't matter. But we come back here. He referenced TikTok and how TikTok's great, how he's using TikTok to help him create Doctor Who, how he's using TikTok to assist in Doctor Who, all while ignoring the fact the real world's gone. Real world's checked out. Data says it right here. Real world's not participating in this. Real world's not checking it out. Real world is saying that this show is horrific. But apparently we just live in the dark little corners of the internet, and wherever Russell T Davies is the real world. But the real world's checked out. Real world's not participating in this. Real world doesn't want any part of this. Heck, when it comes to TikTok, people hate TikTok, but you're using TikTok as an example of the real world. TikTok's beyond the pale of the real world. TikTok's filled with mental health. I know you're using it as like, hey, we can talk about mental health this way. No, like legitimately, the people on TikTok have mental health issues, like beyond the pale of mental health. It's just a refuge of disgusting garbage over and over again that has been hurting kids, but you're using that as an example of the real world. But when it comes to the actual real world, you want to check out. You want to say, no, that's not the real world. That's not real life. These aren't real people. These are dark little trolls. We need to be pushing this out on the kids. The kids love the queer storytelling. The kids love all this. 6-year-olds love all this, and we need to give it to them. Russell T. Davies, Jinx Mon frickin' Soon, Shuri Gatwa are all broken individuals. They only care about their propaganda first and foremost. They don't care about Doctor Who. They don't care about actually pushing good storytelling, interesting storytelling, creative storytelling. They only care about pushing their agenda first. So much so that Russell T. Davies doesn't even see it as an agenda anymore. He sees that what he's doing is real world stuff. Shuri Gatwa calls us all racist because we didn't tune in after he told us not to tune in. Jinx Monsoon thought 2 to 3 new fans would show up after every transphobe and person that they disagree with politically and ideologically left. They would get a whole lot more people. They're not in the real world. They're broken individuals that only care about their identity politics, about their ideology, about their people winning. That's it. First and foremost is their agenda. And that is what has killed Doctor Who. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.